I call the City Council Committee of the Whole meeting for Wednesday, April 19th to order. At this time, we'll have a moment of silence to you can think about whatever you'd like to think about today. Thank you, everyone. Alderwoman Dickman, if you'd lead us all in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Alderwoman Dickman. Mr. Krupp, if you'd call the roll, please.
Dunn.
Here.
Kelly.
Here.
McGinnis.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Grip.
Here.
Condon.
Here.
Cornett.
Here.
Dickman.
Here.
Jobson.
Here.
And Ortiz.
Here.
10 present, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. So again, good evening, everyone. As we begin the meeting of the City Council Committee of the Whole, I'd like to welcome everybody in attendance and anybody watching through any particular electronic device. We respectfully welcome your opinions and comments, but please ask you to keep in mind that as you share your thoughts, you're sharing them with your fellow Davenporters and anybody around the region. We're happy you're participating in your city government, but ask that your participation please reflect the common desire we all share to make Davenport a better place for everyone, especially for the folks in here. If you'd please consider putting your phone on silent or turning it off, just so it doesn't get in the way of anybody talking. If you want to address the council on any specific item, please come to the podium. The microphone's above you. Love to know your name, ward, or address, and if you're not from here, we'd love to know where you're from. Please address the council as one body, not as any individual. We'll be respectful of you. Please be respectful of us, and we'll ask you to keep your comments to 5 minutes. Thank you. City Administrator Spiegel, anything for tonight?
Yeah, one quick update, and I know Nicole's been sending you reoccurring updates, and if you get messages from the city, I'm sure you've got no shortage of texts lately, but we are in full flood plan activation, and the staff team will be setting the temporary wall downtown on Friday into Saturday. Nicole and her team have been working directly with the Corps, and so they will be part of our process as we go through it, and hopefully Mother Nature is very cooperative with the rainstorm that's headed our way tomorrow.
So if you're a praying person, please engage. Anything else? Thank you. All right. We have two public hearings this evening, one in Public Works, one in Finance. The first one in Public Works, Sir Alderman Dunn and Alderman Kelly will discuss. Alderman Dunn, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Open the public hearing on the plan specification form of contract and estimated cost for the Village of East Davenport lighting project. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this public hearing? Seeing none, I move to close the public hearing. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. And this public hearing is closed. And back to you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman Dunn and Alderman Kelly. The next one's Finance. Alderman Condon and Alderman Cornett will discuss. Alderman Condon.
Thank you, Your Honor. I open the public hearing on the issuance of not to exceed $31 million general obligation corporate bonds, Series 2024. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this public hearing? Seeing no one, I move to close the public hearing. There's a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? And this public hearing is now closed. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman Condon and Alderman Cornett. The next area is proclamations. We have one, National Library Week, and Alderwoman McGinnis will read. Alderwoman McGinnis, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm very pleased to be able to read this tonight. We have a wonderful library in the city of Davenport. It serves our residents and others across our area very, very well, and it's just a great organization. So, this is a City of Davenport, Iowa proclamation. Whereas the Davenport Public Library, along with libraries throughout the nation, provide the opportunity for individuals to pursue their passions and engage in lifelong learning, and whereas libraries have long served as trusted institutions for all members of the community, regardless of race, ethnicity, creed, ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, or socioeconomic status, and whereas libraries play a critical role in the economic vitality of communities by providing internet and technology access, literacy skills, and support for job seekers, small businesses, and entrepreneurs, and all while adapting to the ever-changing needs of their communities. And whereas libraries are accessible and inclusive places that promote a sense of local connection, civic engagement, educational programming, and shared community goals. And whereas libraries, library employees, and board trustees join library supporters and advocates across the nation to celebrate National Library Week. And now, therefore, we, Mayor Mike Mattson, and the City Council of Davenport, Iowa, do hereby proclaim April 23rd, 2023 through April 29th, 2023 as National Library Week in the city of Davenport, and encourage all residents to visit their local library to explore the wealth of resources and programming available. Dated this 19th day of April, 2023. I move the proclamation. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The proclamation passes. So Steve Emming, the president of our Board of Trustees, will be joining me at the podium, as well as Jeff Collins and a couple of our trustees who have come tonight. So I'll meet you there, folks.
Thank you so much for all you do. And please, if you'd like to say a few words.
Thank you, Alderman McGinnis. As you know, the Davenport Public Library consists of 3 libraries: Main, Fairmount, and Eastern. The library's mission is to connect a diverse community to resources that inform, enrich, educate, and entertain. The library serves the community through its collections, services, and programs. Last year, more than 25,000 people attended over 1,000 library programs, and more than 525,000 items were borrowed. And half of all Davenporters have a library card. The library is a good steward of taxpayer dollars and collaborates with area libraries as a member of the Rivershare Libraries Consortium, as well as intergovernmental agreements with large public libraries on the Illinois side of the Quad Cities, and numerous partnerships with local organizations and schools. The library is actively evolving to meet the needs of the community, as evidenced by the first social worker on staff in a public library in Iowa, little free libraries installed in some city parks and near a bus shelter, and a seed library. You can even borrow things like ukuleles and passes for free admission to local museums, Niabi Zoo, Quad City Botanical Center, and the Quad Cities Symphony Orchestra. As you know, Maine was renovated in 2021 and features more modern amenities, including new seating and charging stations, study rooms, and a maker space we call Studio 321. Here you can use a 3D printer, Cricut machines, large format printer, sewing machines, and much more. Even a button press, which you might want to use to make your own campaign buttons. This year, the library is in the midst of a bold fundraising campaign to raise over $1 million in private donations to enhance the children's spaces at all 3 libraries. The new spaces will be fun and vibrant learning areas for children and their parents or caregivers. If you're interested in donating, please visit davenportlibrary.com. Any dollar amount helps, and that's davenportlibrary.com, and just click on the donate button. I want to thank all my fellow library trustees who with me serve as the governing authority of the library, and especially like to thank Judy Lance and Malavika Shrikandi, who are here this evening. And also want to thank the Friends of the Davenport Public Library, who celebrated their 40th anniversary on April 15th for their financial support. Thank you to you, Mayor Mattson, and to you, council members, for your trust and support. And thank you especially to the Davenport community. Your library trustees and staff are here to serve you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for all the work you guys do. And it is an important piece of our community. So appreciate your comments, and thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. All right, we'll move on to our 4 areas of discussion: community development, public safety, public works, and finance. What? I apologize. I apologize to my colleagues here. Petitions, communications, anyone? Alderman Kelly.
Thank you, sir. I just want to make an announcement that on April 27th at the Lodge and off of Locust Street, I will have a Fifth Ward meeting, and anyone is welcome to come. Presentation yet to be determined. So once again, the Fifth Ward meeting will be at the Lodge on Locust Street, April 27th at 5:30. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Alderman Kelly. Alderwoman Lee.
Announced that we, am I good? Okay, okay. We now have an egg and a chick at the Arconic Nest, and the Eagle Cam there, you just go to Arconic Eagle Cam and it'll come right up, and the eagle that's on the nest is much more active now that there's a young one in there. So that's pretty exciting. You can, it also has a microphone, so it's pretty cool. You can hear the eagle while they're on their nest. I also want to say it was quite a weekend. We had an up close with the symphony, the head flutist, as well as just an incredible pianist at the Figge. The Putnam Museum has a new exhibit that has to do with the history of the area. And it's wonderful because it actually doesn't start with settlement. It goes back to the people that were here for 5,000 years before then. It's very well done. I want to encourage everyone to go to that. That night, I also, Bob and I went to Quad City Air and listened to 5 very inspiring speakers who are immigrants to the United States, and a little bit about their story of coming here and what they experienced, and how they're just making incredible things with their lives. I was in tears half the time. And I also want to say the ballet is coming up this weekend, Rites of Spring, which is always very exciting. So I recommend that. And then the symphony is coming up, is going to be the movie Beauty and the Beast, but it will be, the music for it will be live. And those are always exciting as well. So I just wanted to say there's a lot going on that doesn't involve getting your feet wet these days. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderwoman Lee. Alderman Ortiz.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a reminder, Monday, April 24th from 6 to 7, I'll be having a ward meeting up at the Kepi building located in the fairgrounds, and we will be having one of the members from the city assessor's office there to answer any of the residents' questions regarding their taxes and what role the city plays in it. So if you have free time, everybody's welcome, 6 to 7, Kepi building, this Monday, the 24th. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman Ortiz. Anyone else? Very good. Okay, my apologies again to council. We'll now move to the 4 areas: community development, public safety, public works, and finance. The first one is community development. Alderman Grip and Alderwoman Lee will discuss. Alderman Grip, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item number 1 is a second consideration ordinance for case REZ 23-01, being the request of Midwest Fidelity Partners, LLC, to rezone 1930 and 1934 North Division Street and 1711 West Pleasant Street from R4C Single Family and 2 Family Central Residential District to C2 Corridor Commercial District. Is there anyone from the public who's here to comment on this item? Please step to the lectern, state your name and address or ward, please.
Good evening, good evening, everyone. I'm Josh Johnson with Houston Engineering, here to represent MFP and Silver Star tonight. I'll just address my comments both to the zone change and alley vacation, and I'm here for any questions as you start your discussion, and just please let me know and I'll be happy to come back up. Simply put, I think you've heard enough about what the intent is with the car wash, all the details about the car wash. I won't go into all of that unless you want me to. We're really excited to be here in Davenport. We think it's a fantastic location. And we think there's a lot of investment here. So thank you for all the support from staff. Staff's been great to work with. We do agree with the 2 conditions that are there, which is the right in, right out on Hickory Grove and the fence and landscaping along Pleasant. Other than that, I think you all have had quite a few conversations about this yet so far. So please let me know if you got any other questions. I'm happy to come back up and discuss anything else you'd like to know.
Thank you.
Did you want an address? I'm sorry, I didn't give an address.
No, I think we heard
All
your interest. We're good.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So if we have any questions when we get to council discussion, we can bring you back up.
Please, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the public here to comment on this item? All right, seeing no one, we'll move to council comments. Alderman Jobson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to have Josh come back up, please. Sorry, calling you by your first name. And so last week, we heard about, potential for another amendment or amendment to this ordinance or tacking on another condition. Would a right-in, right-out on Division Street, would that negatively impact business and potential flow through the car wash?
Absolutely. In essence, if you think about the way traffic's flowing north and east, there's no way for them to get in to our site. So it's at least 50% if it's not going to be more. We feel our car wash is a stop along your errands for the day. It's not a destination, right? If you're there, you're going to stop. It's not a come across town kind of thing. And as you look at that right-in, right-out on Division, if you sort of impose that, you're going to start forcing people to make U-turns in the residential neighborhood. In some way, shape, or form, they're going to figure out a way to get in, but it's probably not going to be where you want it to be. So we would strongly oppose that, or we wouldn't be very happy about that if that worked. Mm-hmm. If that's a condition that you feel is important as a council, I would ask to discuss some other options. Maybe an access onto Pleasant, a full access onto Pleasant. Currently, after talking to staff, because we're a car wash, we can't have access onto Pleasant. It's just part of the way the zoning's written. So we're eliminating 6 access points between Hickory and Division for the 2 that we're currently requesting. So the full access on Division, which we pulled all the way to the north, so it lines up with the Walgreens site, and then the right-in, right-out in Hickory Grove. So that, we feel that would be pretty detrimental to the project, and we'd probably make some serious considerations as to how financially that would impact us, and if it's feasible to make that work.
Okay.
Just from a business standpoint. So.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That would lead me to have a question for staff then.
Yeah.
Sorry. So would a member of staff be able to come up and speak to zoning requirements with no access to Pleasant?
Berkeley Development Neighborhood Services. That is correct. We do have a principal use standard in the zoning code specific to car washes that states that traffic cannot be directed onto a residential street. So.
And there's no way around that. There's no nonconformities that can. Sorry.
I'd have to, honestly, off the top of my head, that's difficult to answer. I think if Laura and I got together and talked about it, we could give you a better answer for next week.
Okay, thank you. And so, thanks, Laura. So I guess for me personally, I kind of voiced some of these questions last week, and I kind of see that right in, right out on Division Street is creating some issues, and I've kind of made the joke about the quote from National Lampoon's Vacation, the kids' Big Ben Parliament. I think we'll have one of those situations kind of occur if we do that. I don't know if the intent was still to bring forth an amendment this week, but I guess I would request that if that was the intent for this week, maybe we hold off to next week to get a little bit more information. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Jobson. Alderman, what am I doing? That's 2. If I go to 3, somebody out to do push-ups. But that's right.
Alderman Ortiz.
Thank you, Chair. I'd just like to, like I said, piggybacking off what my colleague said, point out that, this past planning and zoning as a right-in, right-out on Hickory Grove, and without this possible amendment that's going to come forward. So I hope we, keep that in mind. It also passed the first reading that we had by a supermajority, 9-1 if I'm correct. So like I said, I hope council doesn't lose sight of that, you know. Also, across the street, the reason through talking through staff, imagine if Walgreens was a right in, right out. The only reason Walgreens, you know, works is because it has right in, right, or it has an exit off of Division, it has an exit off of Pleasant Street, it has an enter or exit off an alley, and then it has a right only on Locust Street. So traffic can bleed off in different areas in order for the, you know, it to flow and not have big backups. So I hope that we keep that in mind. You know, you start creating any business, you know, I hate to bring it up, but we talked one ways, you know, we want businesses or residents to have access to the businesses to the best that we can. If we start limiting, you know, and backing up traffic on Division Street, like I said, you're cutting off part of it, and that's just, you know, my feeling on it. So, you know, and as I said last week, you got a business that has been in Davenport for 19 years, is probably one of the #1 jumping bounce house places in the Quad Cities that is willing to relocate, was going to go outside of Davenport. We were able to work with them, find a location that is literally about 8 minutes away, is going to purchase a large parcel and then invest $200,000 plus, which is going to create more jobs. This car wash is going to create more jobs. So anybody that has traveled Davenport for a long time, you know, living 5 minutes away from there, we don't have these kind of investments. These investments are good for Davenport, you know, and we need to keep that in mind. So, like I said, I hope my colleagues will keep the orders as it has passed planning and zoning. We pass it the first reading, let it go. Let's get this passed. Let's open up this new area, and let's bring a quality car wash to the west side of Davenport that is badly needed. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Alderman Ortiz. Alderman Cornett.
Thank you, Alderman Grip. I was just wondering, you know, Alderman Jobson, you know, brought up the things that I was going to bring up. I'll be looking forward next week to hearing staff's responses and what they think about the traffic flow off of Division. So I'll be waiting till next week. Thank you very much.
Alderman Dunn.
Thank you. I'm concerned about safety. That's got to be one of our main points. I know staff might have made a recommendation of what they recommended, so could somebody address that, or are we concerned of not doing that? The right in, right out on Division Street, are we okay if we do it the other way, where we're not going to cause traffic problems?
Brian Shad, Public Works. My main goal for eliminating that cross traffic is the conflict of people turning northbound left into. That's why I recommend the right in, right out on both entrances.
Thank you.
All right, Alderwoman Lee.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to do what you did, Josh. Could I have a question? I'm so sorry. Again, to use your first name.
That's okay.
Okay.
I'm happy to stand up here and talk with you all night.
Can you give me an idea of what proportion of your business you suspect will be subscription versus impulse?
That's a great question. I don't know if I have a great answer for you. It's probably a 70, 30, 60, 40 sort of a split. They're a client of mine, and I don't personally have a subscription, but I've got one close to my house, and I stop probably twice a month. And like I said, for us, for me personally, there it is, it's close. I would probably, no, this isn't on record, but I mean, I would use the closest car wash to me that's feasible, just because it's a part of my destination for the drive. So We do have a significant membership, and we expect Davenport will have that too, because they'll appreciate that. But those are the numbers that we've talked about internally with my clients. So it's in that ballpark.
And another question, what do you expect for a number of employees? Since if I understand right, it's a pull-through?
Yeah, it's a tunnel, so you pull in and then you get on a track and it moves your vehicle through the tunnel. There's anywhere from 3 to 5 employees at a time. Each site may have 10 to 15 total that sort of rotate through their shifts, but it's up to 5 at a time during the working hours.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, and those working hours, for if you don't know, in the summer are 8 to 8, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and in the winter it's 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. So.
And thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
I just wanted to say, I live further up Division at a place that's got a Walgreens right near Kimberly, so it's not a 5 points, but it is a very busy intersection, 4 points. And the Walgreens goes straight across to the Quick Star, and there's what used to be a Quick Shop. There's businesses across the street. It's very busy, and no, people don't die there, but I've certainly seen a lot of almost accidents there because of the left turns. So I'm very interested in and concerned about safety as well. And that's from my experience further up Division. So thank you.
Alderwoman McGinnis.
Thank you very much. I had a couple of questions. I certainly understand the ability to be able to move freely there. And to Alderman Ortiz's point, we have, whether for good or for ill, we have Walgreens that can turn left or right coming out on the east side there of the street. I am very concerned if we start to, and I don't hear staff recommending this, but if we have a policy of not turning commercial traffic into residential properties, then I don't think we should start doing this. I think that's a terrible idea. I believe that, and I know Walgreens does, I believe that might have been an alley there, but I'm not really sure. So I don't know why Walgreens, turns into a residential street in the back. It has the in and out, it has the thing on Pleasant, and then it has the thing on Division, the in and out on Division. So I am concerned about now. We have already will be removing a section of residential neighborhood, and I know this is a transitional area, and I completely understand that. But I don't think we need to we need to be changing that precedent. I did have a question. Can anybody answer why Walgreens was allowed to go either way, or does anybody remember? Nobody remembers that, of course. And I guess the other question, I guess I would perhaps ask, if somebody remembers? A long time ago it was. If Mr. Shadd, if you could maybe answer a question, if you come up and answer, if you can't answer it, I understand. So is it with now potentially 2 businesses turning either way there in a very strange intersection, as we all know, is it possible to put would perhaps a stop sign at Division coming north be warranted at that intersection?
At the intersection of Pleasant and Division?
Correct.
I do not believe that would be warranted.
Okay. Just to now you have 2 people trying to turn out. So okay. So I think I see both sides, and I understand both concerns, but I really think turning into Pleasant, there's an alley there right now, right? To the west of this property, and that remains, or we're giving them the alley.
That would be vacated.
Okay.
That is the next item.
Yeah, and I think that was why, maybe that's what's next to Walgreens. I have a feeling there was maybe an alley there, but anyway, thank you. I'm sorry I'm wandering, but I just have some questions. Thank you.
Alderman Ortiz, I'm going to go to Alderman Condon for the first time before I come to you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Shadd. I have a question for you as well. Is the concern of the right in, right out unique to the car wash? Because that location from a traffic count and a visibility perspective is pretty highly, I would imagine is highly desirable, and I would like to see it developed or redeveloped as part of a more central city location. So what, is it unique to a car wash, and what uses would not necessarily merit a right in, right out, like another Walgreens or a credit union? What's your perspective on that for us, please?
It is not solely a car wash issue. Anything that would have a fair amount of traffic going in. Today, I would recommend not having a full service driveway as Walgreens does today. I would do the same and recommend a right in, right out for that as well.
So if you use a modern day metric that we're looking at now, would many real estate, pieces of real estate on the corner of a major intersection be handicapped by the accessibility?
We would certainly put a close eye on every one, pending the amount of traffic, the existing accidents, existing turning movements. There's a lot of factors we look at that.
Okay. Well, this feels like the beginning of a good conversation. I hope we can find if not a middle ground, a great solution, because as I stated, it's a good piece of real estate that I'd like to see redeveloped. Thanks.
All right, I'm going to speak quickly, and then I'll let Alderman Ortez have a second bite. But I think you might want to hear what I have to say before you take your second opportunity. So, the use of a car wash in this zoning is appropriate, right? If I look at the zoning, to me, it's not an inappropriate use. There is an issue with traffic and vehicular safety that we need to address in some way, I think, and our city engineer has brought that out. The options that we have, I think the first thing is we could do nothing, and we could pass this as it came to us from P&Z. We could make an amendment to do right in, right out, just like our city engineer has recommended. We could put a clause in that says initially we're going to let you rezone it and open with left and right access, but we're going to monitor it, and if we have traffic issues, we reserve the right to put in, right out in the future. We could do that. With the fourth option, right, there's always more options. The fourth option, one of them has been brought up, is that you could figure out how to get past the not bringing commercial out into a residential. I would not recommend that we look into that. I think that is important to protecting neighborhoods from vehicular development. So it is an option. I don't think it's one we should pursue. The point of me signaling last week was I want to have this conversation. So we're having a good conversation. I'm not going to make a recommendation tonight. We can continue to have the conversation. We can have the conversation over the next week, and then potentially next week I would make a recommendation based on the conversation of the council. And now I'll go to Alderman Ortez.
Thank you, Chair, for a second time to speak. My first one is Brian. Sorry, buddy. To me, I do think, we have one of the best staffs. The work you do throughout the city is unquestionably top-notch. No question about that. To me, is if it was such a, thinking out loud, concern of safety, which 5 Points in itself is a safety concern, just with the different movements of traffic and the amount of traffic every day. To me, that would have been brought up through P&Z, and I know there's always second 2020 vision in that, but also couldn't you say that, I'll tie into one of my points, Jumpin' Joey's. The car wash has got its hands full to try to keep up with the business that's there today. When I say #1 bounce house, has anybody went up there and saw the traffic that goes in into Jumpin' Joey's on a daily basis. So when you look at those two factors, in your opinion, could that kind of mitigate the safety concern in your opinion?
Well, I think we're charged as staff as we look at these recommendations for rezoning to look at the area and really think not only today, tomorrow, what could go there, and recommend our safety actions based on that.
Okay, thank you, Brian. My second, that's good on that. I would just like to point out to my colleagues and then the public, unfortunately, because of the location, Pleasant Street might be in the top 15 busiest streets in Davenport because everybody cuts through. It's one of my turned in for, you would not believe how many phone calls I got once the traffic calming was put out there in the paper. We're neighbors, and that's one of my top, without a doubt, streets. That and going east is Pleasant Street because everybody cuts through so they don't have to go to the lights at 5 Points. So to think that this business, whether it gets developed or not, Pleasant Street is very busy. I mean, very busy because they cut through so that way they can go to Division, go north or south, or continue all the way down until they get to Washington Street. Then they'll veer off which way they're going to go. They would rather go down Washington or Marquette or somewhere that so they don't have to hit the 5 Points. So those are just my points. Like I said, safety is number one, but also, like I said, just keep in mind, safety is always a concern and an utmost to all of us. But also business, jobs, Davenport is business friendly. And as an alderman and a small business owner myself, I'll work with any business that wants to come to Davenport. So, and especially the 4th Ward. So I just hope my colleagues keep all these factors in mind. The area is a highly trafficked area already. The streets, the side streets that are already there, they're already busy. So this development is not going to add any more traffic than what's already there right now. So thank you for the second time to speak.
Any other comments from the council? All right, seeing none, we will keep this item on discussion and address it next week. Item number 2 is a second consideration ordinance for case ROW 23-01, being the request of Midwest Fidelity Partners, LLC, to vacate the alley right-of-way located west of North Division Street between West Pleasant Street and Hickory Grove Road. Anyone from the public here to comment? Anyone from the council? Seeing no one, this item will move on. We'll keep it on discussion with the first one since they're related. And then item number 3 is a resolution of support for case ANX 23-01 for the annexation of 182.35 acres, more or less, of territory located south of Slopertown Road and west of Hillendale Road to the city of Davenport, Iowa. Anyone from the public here to comment on this item? Anyone from the council? Alderwoman Lee.
Thank you. Laura, could you just briefly explain why this is on again?
Sure. So this was an item that actually came before you a little bit earlier this year. What happened was there are timeframes associated with when public notice is placed on the paper and when council can take action. We did not get the publication as anticipated in the paper when it was supposed to be published, so we did not meet our 10-day requirement, so we need to redo this in order to submit it to the Community Development Board of the state.
So this is just a rerun of what we've already talked about and voted on?
Correct.
Thank you.
All right. Seeing no one else, Alderwoman Lee, will you please set our agenda?
Thank you very much. I move that items 1 and 2 be placed on the discussion agenda and item 3 be placed on the consent agenda.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The agenda has been set. Back to you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman Griffin, Alderwoman Lee. The next area is public safety. Alderman Jobson and Alderwoman Dickman will discuss. Alderman Jobson, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First item under the public safety agenda is a third consideration ordinance amending Schedule 1 snow routes of Chapter 10.96 entitled Schedules by deleting various streets throughout the city therefrom. Is there anyone from public wishing to comment on this item? Anyone from council? Seeing none, that item will move on. Item number 2, resolution approving a street closure request for the listed dates and times to hold an outdoor event. We have Top Notch Productions Incorporated, Riverfront Pops 2023, LeClaire Park, 8 a.m. Friday, August 25th, 2023 through 12 p.m. Sunday, August 27th, 2023. Closures, Ripley and Harrison Streets south of River Drive. Is there anyone from public wishing to comment on this item? Anyone from council? Seeing none, that item will move on. Item number 3, motion approving noise variance requests for the listed dates and times of outdoor events. I'll read these 3 before asking for comment. First, Mississippi Valley Blues Society, Rock and River Rally, LeClaire Park, Saturday, June 24, 2023, 11 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. Outdoor music bands over 50 dBA. Next, Michelle Russell, The Heights of the Era, Lindsay Park, 2200 East 11th Street, 12 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Friday, July 28, 2023, outdoor music bands over 50 dBA. And last, Top Notch Productions Incorporated, Riverfront Pops 2023, Claire Park, Saturday, August 26, 2023, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. rehearsals and 7:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. event, outdoor music over 50 dBA. Is there anyone from the public wishing to comment on these items? Anyone from council? Seeing none, that'll move on. And then we have item number 4, motion approving beer and liquor license applications. I'll read those under section A, new license, new owner, temporary permit, temporary outdoor area, location, transfer, etc. First, Damn Tacos, 418 East 2nd Street, new license, license type, Class C liquor. Next, German American Heritage Center, 712 West 2nd Street, parking lot, outdoor event, June 13th, license type, special Class C, beer, wine, on premises. Next, German American Heritage Center, 712 West 2nd Street, premises update for entire building, license type, special Class C, beer, wine, on premises. Next, Newman's Nightclub and Lounge, 822 West 2nd Street, new license, license type, Class C liquor, on premises. Rudy's Tacos, 2214 East 11th Street, temporary outdoor area, May 6th, license type, Class C liquor, on premises. Next, the Gypsy Highway Bar and Grill, 5320 Corporate Park Drive, outdoor event, May 17th, June 21st, July 19th, August 16th. License type, Class C liquor, on premises. And then Flips Pancake House, 4751 Progress Drive, new license, license type, Class C liquor, on premises. And then we have those items listed under section B, which are for review, which I do not read. And I would ask, is there anyone from public wishing to comment on these items? Anyone from council? Seeing none, then I would ask Alderwoman Dickman to please set the agenda.
I move that all items be placed on consent.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed, same sign. That closes public safety. Back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman Jobson and Alderwoman Dickman. The next area is Public Works. Alderman Dunn and Alderman Kelly will discuss. Alderman Dunn, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item number 1 is a resolution approving the plan specification, form of contract, and estimated cost for the Village of East Davenport lighting project. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Alderman Jobson.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I just want to say thank you to Assistant Public Works Director Clay Merritt and other staff kind of seeing this through. I know Village of East Davenport is no longer in the 6th Ward, and Alderman Kelly gets to claim it all now, but this was something that we asked the Schmid to give us some specifics about what they wanted. They came forward and finally said it, and we're kind of seeing this through. So I think this is a good win-win. Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 2 is a resolution awarding a professional service agreement for the engineering services for the water pollution control plant digester operational study to H.R. Green in the amount not to exceed $109,900. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Alderwoman Lee.
Thank you. Just really quick, I really appreciate that the staff at the water treatment plant continue to look for better ways to keep our water clean at our discharges from the wastewater treatment plant. So I think this is very exciting. Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 3 is a resolution awarding a 2-year professional service contract for federal grant and advocacy services to Rasky Partners in the amount of $240,000. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Alderman Jojen.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Sorry for being so chirpy tonight. I always think this is a great thing, and I think the question's been asked before, and I don't know if we've ever really publicized it. What do we get in return? I mean, have we ever published the amount of grant money that we actually receive because of these services? Because we're able to do a lot of great things through the grants that we receive, and you know, it's something I think we should advertise. And then, lastly, has this fee increased significantly? Because I feel like it's been less before.
So great questions, Alderman Jojen. We have never put them neatly packaged together because our work with consultants is closely tied to the staff team's work. And so I wouldn't want to say that consultants are the only reason. I think we all know how much work Clay and now Tegan put into this process. This is a 2-year contract, so that's why the number looks like it's 2 years worth of funds. But we've gone through a competitive process, and Rasky was the firm who actually helped us with the CP negotiations. So for many years we used Keller, and we had a great relationship with them. But through the competitive process, Rasky just had a better fit for our needs going forward. So could we produce it kind of as an ROI? Yes. Do I think that's really an apples to apples comparison? Not really, because there's a lot of guidance that goes into it and a lot of DC level work. And as I've shared with you, the last 2 grant projects that we haven't been successful on, we've gotten all the way to the secretary's desk. And the feedback has been, I can't tell you any way to improve other than us to have more money. And so there are ones that we don't win that this advocacy is still a big part of.
Cool. And thank you, and I apologize to any staff that I might have slighted by suggesting that it is just this service's good deeds.
Item number 4 is a resolution awarding a contract for the Redstone Parking Garage Stair Tower Masonry Improvement Project to T&T Tuck Pointing and Building Restoration in the amount of $163,277. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 5 is a resolution awarding a contract for the Davenport Municipal Airport South Ramp Reconstruction Project to Langman Construction in the amount of $1,260,054.26. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 6 is a resolution accepting work completed under the Skybridge North Stair Tower Repairs Project to Tricon General Construction in the amount of $423,059.95. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council. Alderman Jojen.
Last one, I promise. And I don't need this information right now, but I was just curious, in the lifespan of the Sky Bridge, what have we spent on maintenance?
Probably get that.
Again, I don't need the answer tonight. If it could be emailed sometime or shared other.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 7 is a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an agreement between the City of Davenport and the Iowa Department of Transportation for Traffic Safety Improvement Program, funding in the amount not to exceed $90,000. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Alderwoman Lee.
Thank you very much, Chair. We've been working towards this for a long time, and you succeeded in getting this grant. Thank you very much. And it's a perfect fit for the criteria to a specific location. And this is a location that if there's any place in Davenport that needs to figure out how to fix something, this is it. So I'm very excited about this, and I can't wait to see the results of your study. I do have just a couple of quick questions on it. Looking at the table in the back, I just want to make sure this will include all those very strange on-off ramps that there are in that area.
Yes, this is the Brady Vets Memorial 65th intersection, as well as the frontage roads that are east and west It basically functions as one intersection, so it'll be a safety study, volume study of the entire area.
Yay. And the second one is, will it also include the potential for, right now the sidewalks stop away from the intersections, but we do have pedestrian lights there. Will that include the study about sidewalks in all 4 directions?
We are actually doing that under a different project.
Oh, we are, yes. As a city?
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. And as part of, can I ask a question about that one? Will we be moving the pedestrian push buttons closer to where the sidewalks will be? Because right now people are climbing over snowdrifts basically, or snowbanks.
When that sidewalk and path is constructed, we'll make sure that the buttons are installed per requirements.
Oh, that's another yay. Thank you very much. Okay.
Anyone else? Seeing on this item, we'll move on, and I'll read the remaining items and then ask for comment. Item number 8 is a resolution assessing the cost of boarding up buildings at various lots and tracts of real estate. Item number 9 is a resolution assessing the cost of brush and debris removal at various lots and tracts of real estate. Item number 10 is a resolution assessing the cost of condemned property demolitions at various lots and tracts of real estate. Item number 11 is a resolution assessing the cost of replacing sidewalks at various lots and tracts of real estate. Item number 12 is a resolution assessing the cost of snow removal at various lots and tracts of real estate. Item number 13 is a resolution assessing the cost of tree removal at various lots and tracts of real estate. And item number 14 is a resolution assessing the cost of weed cutting at various lots and tracts of real estate. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address any of those items? Council? Seeing none, that item will move on. And Alderman Kelly, would you set the agenda for us, please?
Yes, sir. I would like to make a motion to have everything, all 14 items set on the consent agenda.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. And the agenda is set. And back to you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman Dunn and Alderman Kelly. Next area is Finance. Alderman Condon and Alderman Cornett will discuss. Alderman Condon, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have 5 items on finance this evening. Item number 1 is a second consideration ordinance amending Chapter 5.10 entitled Alcoholic Beverage Control by repealing the current Chapter 5.10 and enacting a new Chapter 5.10 entitled Alcoholic Beverage Control in its place. Is there anyone from the public that would wish to address item number 1? Council? Item number 1 will move on. Item number 2 is a first consideration ordinance amending Chapter 13.16 entitled Wastewater Facilities of the Municipal Code of Davenport, Iowa by amending subsection 13.16.106D to change the maximum amount billed for quarterly residential customers from 50 centrum cubic foot to 35 centrum cubic foot. Is there anyone from the public that would like to address item number 2? And Council? Alderwoman Lee?
Thank you. I believe that this was one of the options related to, am I correct? Okay. Will this first consideration affect that set of options at all?
Mallory Merritt, CFO. Before we could change this particular item, we would need the ordinance adopted. But after we get through first consideration, we would start moving forward with the implementation plan for the other 3 items that were provided in the memo.
And when do you think the whole thing will be coming forward? Because I've got a question on one of the options, which I think is a critical option, but I don't understand how it would be implemented.
Yeah, so I would anticipate the entire package being implemented in late May, which should put us kind of right in line with when this really becomes relevant for our residents.
Okay, so at that point we'd have a chance to ask for clarification on?
I would say we could get together on whatever questions that you have so that hopefully by the time we get through third consideration, we're ready to go.
Perfect, yep. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, item number 2 will move on. Item number 3 is a resolution making provisions for the issuance of not to exceed $31 million general obligation corporate bonds series 2024. Anyone from the public that would like to address item number 3? Council? Item number 3 will move on. Item number 4 is a resolution approving a one-year lease agreement with 2 separate one-year options between the City of Davenport and Community Action of Eastern Iowa for the lease of city-owned property located at the Annie Windmeyer Complex. Anyone from the public wishing to address item number 4? Council? Number 4, we'll move on. And finally, item number 5 is a resolution adopting an updated investment policy. Anyone from the public wishing to address item number 5? And council? Below on our agenda, we have listed our purchases from $10,000 to $50,000. We don't read each of those individually, but they are there for your information. Alderman Cornett, would you please set our finance agenda?
I move that all items be placed on the consent agenda.
All right, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That concludes finance, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Are there any other, the next area is other ordinances, resolutions, or motions? Okay, then the next area, is there any public with business? Any reports, Ms. Spiegel? Is there a motion to adjourn? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Have a good evening.